We also got this note from Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Says, hey, Rob, did you hear Real Time was canceled for tonight due to Bill Maher testing positive for COVID, even though he's asymptomatic and fully vaccinated? HBO has a policy of weekly PCR tests for all employees. I'm so sick of this. Blah, blah. Look, this is an employer thing. If I will keep reminding you, there's a lot of this that's legitimately willing to be totally frustrated at. But parts of it, the only thing you get to be frustrated at are your fellow citizens and the fact that because we're a litigious society, HBO, as an employer, has to ensure that they are protecting all of their employees, especially the most ninny of all ninnies. So look, this is probably a false positive, but Bill Maher probably doesn't have COVID, but they can't take that risk. And he could also be the one breakthrough case. You know, there's very few people get vaccinated and then they do actually contract COVID. They're asymptomatic. It doesn't bother them, but technically they could spread the virus. They can't take that. If they let Bill Maher work tonight and then somebody on the set wound up 3 days later getting COVID, testing positive for COVID, spreading it to Granny and killing Granny because Granny didn't get back, they own HBO. They're not going to do that, and that's going to be the process over the next many months of figuring out workplace policies. And this is why, after the announcement yesterday by the CDC, that's where you're going to see ramping up, going out and getting vaccinated, because workplaces are going to require it now more than they have been to force you to get vaccinated.
And hey, this way we might get a really great rant from Bill Maher about this. He might say something great.
Yeah, we might. We have to wait a week for it, but
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite feature is things that bother Dawn.
It's not everybody's favorite.
58-year-old Anna Cardenas awoke around 4 a.m. in her home in El Paso, Texas on May 8th after she felt something dripping on her body.
Ooh, where's this going?
All right, I know, lots of potential.
God.
Now she's alone.
Okay.
She thinks.
Oh, great.
So her first thought is, it's raining outside. Maybe there's a leak that sprung from the apartment above hers. But when Anna turned on her light to investigate, to her horror, her entire bedroom was sprayed.
What?
Covered
What do you mean?
with parts of her bed, covered her walls, covered her furniture.
With what?
She had it in her hair.
What is it?
Now, we know where it's coming from. Anna had left the fan on, her ceiling fan, in her bedroom, and the fan sprayed her entire bedroom,
What is
ruining her mattress, her clothes, and her furniture.
Man.
God.
It was so bad that Anna called 911 and ran out of her apartment and waited.
Ew.
911. Anna, are you okay?
God.
Are you okay, Anna?
That's great.
She also called her brother Guillermo, who lives in Arizona, who immediately got in his car to drive to her in Texas because she's so traumatized by this.
Holy cow! Oh, no! If you want to find out, you can find out on our website.
Guillermo says, that's the brother, quote, it was so ugly and awful she thought she was in a bad dream, but it was real. So even as she's like standing outside after going through this, she's still like, oh my God, did this really happen to me? Once police arrived at Anna's apartment, police are always first to arrive when 911 called, they went to the apartment above hers, because, there's a ceiling fan, to investigate what was causing the leak. But when officers knocked on the door, no one answered.
Oh, Jesus.
Which
What is happening?
was not a surprise to officers, because they'd already gone into Anna's place. See, when Anna woke up,
Oh, Jesus.
what she thought was rain was actually blood.
Whose blood? Whose blood?
Splattered
Whose blood?
across the walls, her bed, and her body.
God.
Or what's
Ew.
blood?
Oh, my God.
So when the firefighters go to the apartment upstairs and they knock and no one answers, they knock down the door.
Oh, someone was murdered. Oh, my God. It's their blood dripping through the fan. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
She's partially right. Of course, she has to make everything the worst possible case scenario.
Way to be positive.
The firefighters knock down the door, and there's a human body laying exactly where her fan is underneath.
Oh,
No.
my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Where's the murderer?
Just a reminder, it should be obvious in 2021 more than ever, people die in ways other than murder.
It was Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the bedroom.
So the blood was coming from her upstairs neighbor, a man who had died.
Oh, how did he die? Why is he bleeding?
He had carpet, but the blood seeped through to her ceiling. It turns out her neighbor died from natural causes and had been...
And you just start bleeding?
and had been decomposing
Oh.
for 6 days. So yes, as you break down, the blood soaks in.
How do you not smell a decomposing body before the blood starts dripping through the ceiling?
You're in El Paso.
Okay.
That's a very localized answer, but
Fair enough.
But also the smells above her, and also depends on what she's got the fan. It depends on
all right.
And I don't know how long a decomposing body to the point where the blood starts leaking out takes to smell, and how much she's home. Great question
Oh my
though.
God! Did he ever get in her mouth? In her
that-
any crevice?
That
of her
body had to be there a while. I mean, decomposing and that blood all settled to the bottom of the body. So when it dripped, it was all right there.
That's
We have the definition of a while, Kyle. It was 6 days that it was decomposing.
Was she friends with this neighbor? Was she familiar with him?
No, they barely knew each other.
Oh, that's awful.
She knows him now.
Oh.
In fact, Anna says that when they took the fan down from the ceiling, a pool of blood came crashing down.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Who's gonna get her a new bed?
Just the bed. We're not going to worry about everything else.
The
All the furniture, the walls, the clothing.
the shrink appointments.
Oh, this poor woman.
To that point,
Oh, this poor
Anna says she
woman.
is traumatized. She can't eat, she can't sleep, or be in peace. She's at a hotel, but she still
Yeah.
can't sleep.
Oh,
They need to liquidate this man upstairs' assets and help this woman restart because this isn't cool.
liquidate.
That's a bad neighbor.
God.
State Farm was not there.
No.
Oh yeah. Try and rent this apartment out again. Both of them.
Well, there is a backstory that's not as fun about how the apartment complex is telling her that she's crap out of luck because their policy doesn't cover this happening, and so they can't replace any of her stuff. Blah 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 blah. That's not really as exciting on the things that bother Dawn thing.
Oh, I was just going to say, what is it going to feel like for the maintenance man who has to come in and clean that up?
Which, by the way, they'll have no problem renting the apartment out because they'll just clean it all up and they'll just say, you want to live in this apartment.
God, you
So
know
if
what
I'm
happened?
going to rent an apartment right now, I should be looking for the if my neighbor dies upstairs clause and turns into liquid falling through my ceiling.
Yeah, it's a very specific clause. I think when you ask for it, they might go, what do you plan on happening above you?
See, there actually are teams that go out here and clean up big bloody pools out of apartments. I know from experience, unfortunately. But also, there's some crime scene investigation pages on, or crime scene cleanup pages on Instagram where they show pictures of stuff like this. Like if somebody were to commit suicide in a bathtub, they show the bathtub after the fact. They don't show the body or anything, but like the remnants of what's left behind and all the nasty stuff. It's actually really cool.
No, it is. It's really cool to see it when you don't know the person.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they do a great job. When my dad passed away, it was messy, and they went in there and they cleaned everything, and my stepmom was able to keep the bed and all that stuff.
To one of Dawn's questions, Anna is, of course, seeking medical treatment as she is unsure if the blood that made contact with her body contained any pathogens. And yes, it got in her mouth and her hair, all over her face.
Oh God, you just can't shower enough.
Can't use ketchup anymore.
Oh God.
Triggered.
Oh